First off, I want to thank Pastor for giving me the opportunity to come and speak. This morning and this evening are Autumn and I and Isabella and Graciella's first services at Crosspointe in this building. Last time we were here, you guys were all over in the other building, just down the road a little ways. And that was an interesting setup trying to find you guys over there. But today I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on in our lives. For those of you, most everybody should know us here. There's a few new faces, which I'm glad to see. There's a lot of the same faces, which is also good. You guys are keeping the faith, staying strong, and keep going on. All right. But there's a lot of new faces, which is great. That means you guys are out talking to people, soul winning, doing what God has for us. And for those of you that don't know us, my name's Travis, and my wife Autumn and I used to go here about 3 years ago now. And we've been in Hammond, Indiana, going to college and church down there for a little while. So at the rate I'm going, if I continue on my schooling at the rate I'm going, I believe I can surpass Pastor and squeeze it into 15 years. So we've been down there for 3 years now. I've got about 28 credits in, only 100 more to go. So I'm still a freshman, technically. But, yeah, we have been going to church down there, and it's been great, learning a lot of good things. Howes Anderson College, it's a great atmosphere there. The student body is great. I took 2 semesters where I was actually going to the college, but as of late I've been doing a lot of online studies there, which have helped me to speed up the process. If you go to the actual campus, it costs a little bit more money, so it's been a little bit better on our budget, and I've been speeding things along a little bit quicker. And it also allows me quite a bit of family time. So it's a good place. If you want to do online studies there, it would be a good refresher course to help teach you and train you on stuff that you may already know but just need to learn little bit more about. I want to turn in your Bibles to Galatians 6 and verse 9. I'll give you a few seconds to get there. So on the same note of Howes Anderson College, basically, those of us that are in ministry positions that need to teach others, we also need to learn. We need to learn from others. If we're not learning, we can't effectively teach others, and we can't just give them the same information. We need to continue to study. We need to continue to learn, and we need to continue to be taught. And Galatians 6, verse 9, it says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." Autumn and I, we are at a point. We've been in college there for 3 years now, haven't got very far. The Bible tells us to not be weary in well-doing. It tells us to keep going on, even when you don't think it's going as fast as it should, or if you're not getting as far as you think you should. We need to keep on doing what God has instructed us to do and to finish it. He doesn't want a quitter. He wants somebody that's going to continue on and to continue to finish his work. And if we look up at verse 6, chapter 6, verse 6, it says, "Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teacheth in all good things." That goes back to what I was saying a few seconds ago. We need to continue to be taught if we're in a position where we're teaching others. I want to tell you guys a little bit about the ministries that we've been involved in down there. I've been teaching Sunday school for 3rd through 5th graders. It's an interesting bunch. They're about the same mentality as I am, so it's kind of neat. Yeah. So the 3rd through 5th graders, I've been placed in charge of the 3rd grade class during the summer. And then when the fall hits and we start getting more people, we have a fall program. A lot more college students are back in school, and we get a lot more kids in there. So during that time, we have a lot of visitors. So during the fall and springtime, I get to teach the visitors class. So I get to preach salvation to 3rd through 5th graders every single Sunday. Amen. I get to see people, see kids saved every single Sunday. And I'm also in charge of organizing the soul winners, the college young people that are going to speak to them. So every once in a while, I'll have a little training session with them, pep talk, be like, all right, you need to make sure you're telling them this, this, and this, and then there's certain cards you got to fill out. So I get to instruct the college students how to lead someone to Christ, and then I also get the privilege of teaching a class I get probably about a half hour to stand there and teach someone how to be saved, which is great. It's better than at an altar call, you might have to a few minutes just to show somebody from the Bible how to be saved. Whereas I get to sit there and teach a class and have them understand and ask questions at the end, make sure that they understand. And they're very attentive. It's great having the third grade class, because the third grade class, that's the first group of kids that come in there. We get to train them in third grade how they're going to act in fourth and fifth grade. So I love teaching that class because I get to set the rules for them. I get to set the rules, I get to enforce the rules, and then they continue to follow them as they're there. So it's been a great experience for me. Do you want me to save you some time to preach at the end, Pastor? A couple minutes? Okay. All right. All right. The second thing that we've got, we've been on a bus route. Autumn's been staying home with Isabella and Graciela, and but I go on a bus route Saturday and Sunday, and it's captained by Brother Tommy Ashworth, who's deacon of the church, First Baptist, and the bus route's number is 72F. It's an A bus route, which is mostly like workers from the church. They have college routes that they send out to Chicago, but this one's located in Gary, Indiana. Gary's a lot like Chicago. It's pretty rough neighborhoods, though. I used to deliver pizza there a while back when I first went down there for college, and it's some rough areas, especially at nighttime. But anyway, I want to encourage you guys to pray for my bus captain, Tommy Ashworth. He recently acquired a new bus route. One of our bus captains, he's going off into a different ministry, and so they pretty much just told Brother Tommy that he's going to now captain 2 bus routes. So we acquired another bus, and our bus route spread even thinner now. But a week after that happened, he was at his house, and he was changing his radiator fluid, or he was changing his antifreeze on his car, and his radiator exploded, and he was covered in steaming hot liquid, and it burned his face. Some of you guys might have seen the movie Batman. There's a character called Two-Face. He looked like that character. It's completely scalded his face. And so this side looked normal, and this side you could barely recognize it. And it actually pooled up on his side and gave him big blisters on the side of his body and burned his whole right arm. So he took off of work for about a week, and he's still recovering from that. We saw him a week after he got in these burns. We saw him right after he got the burns, and then a week after, and his face had actually completely healed. You couldn't even tell that he got burned. So he is recovering rapidly, and I would like to encourage you guys to pray for him as he continues to recover his side and his arm. But we do have 2 bus routes now, and on those bus routes we have anywhere from little kids to grown adults riding. We also have a group called the Pathfinders. They're a little bit mentally slow, but a lot of them understand what you say, and they follow the rules, and they're a good group of people. And so we get to experience working with everybody, from the young to the old, to the handicapped, and it's been a great experience. We also have we had a youth conference at First Baptist recently, and 3 of our teenagers. We had 7 teenagers that went from our bus route, and 3 of them got saved, baptized, and they've actually been helpers on our bus now. They've been working on our bus, and they also started attending night church. They've been faithfully attending night church. One of our workers will go pick them up, bring them to church, and they've been learning, and they've also been enrolled in our discipleship program. They got a discipleship program there that teaches beginning Christians the basics from salvation and baptism, and teaches them doctrine on what they need to know, and that way they won't get confused or led astray. There's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses down there, especially in Gary, that they'll take a Bible and they'll show you scriptures. They'll read them completely out of context, and they'll mislead you. So it's really good having our bus route, which is in Gary, where all of them are, having those kids in discipleship so that they can learn foundational truths from the Bible so that they won't get led astray. And we actually, we recently acquired another helper on our bus, and she's been helping me lead singing, and she's been working really hard on my bus. And I'm going to have my daughter Isabella come up and join me. We're going to sing a song for you guys tonight, if you guys can bear with us. Can I steal one of these chairs? For those of you that saw the video on Facebook where she was yelling at the top of her lungs on the bus, I instructed her to sing with her nice voice tonight, so hopefully it'll go good. All right, so we're going to sing Amazing Grace, okay? All right. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Thank you, Pastor.